Welcome back to another episode of On the Pulse Golf Talk. I'm your host, Mitchell Bain, and this week we have the Scottish Open. But we'll review a little bit about last week with the John Deere Classic. We had another positive week with Clanton and Cole coming in the top 10 for us. Cole hit at the tie for seventh, which that each way got split up a little bit because he was tied with five other guys. But we'll still take the positive money there. And then Clanton with the tied for second on that as well. So overall, a positive week for those guys that we had bet. Dunlap didn't work out for us in the daily fantasy portion. I had Dunlap a lot, so that obviously did not work out well. But like I said, overall, a positive week. So if you were able to tail those, then you made some money last week. But let's jump into the Scottish Open for this week. So I wanted to start out by looking at the previous winners of the Scottish Open, and then also looking at what the course will demand. So if we're looking at the past winners, and honestly, I'm really just looking at the past, 4 to 5 years. Going back to 2018, 17. That's pretty far back. I don't think we need to really go back that far. But if we're looking at those guys, while these fields were, a little bit stronger, like it will be this week. Most of the big boys are here. The only guys that really aren't here are Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay. Basically, everybody else is playing this event. So if you're looking at the guys that won the past couple years, looking at Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, Minwoo Lee, and Aaron Rai. These guys are really good drivers of the golf ball. So I'm going to be really looking at guys who drive it well, who drive it far. Not necessarily guys who are super long off the tee. It's always good to hit the fairway. So I think guys that hit it long but are straight enough. And then if you look at these guys as well, besides Aaron Rai, they're all okay to above level um, iron players from Rory and Xander, especially with their long irons. The outlier here is Minwoo. He's not really good with his mid to short irons. His long irons, he's pretty good, but that comes with the distance. So I'm going to be looking at again long iron play this week, good drivers. And then as we can see from the scoring that you got to go deep. This course is going to be determined by, whatever elements they get. So, this is played over in Scotland. And so the wind, the rain, it could come in and out at any time. And so, with this, we just have to take that into account when we're making bets. And so, I want guys that are able to score. This is sort of a links style golf course where you have to play the ball. You have to play the ball on the ground. You don't necessarily need those super shots where you've got the flops and all this stuff onto the green. You don't need a big short game. So I'm really not going to be looking at too much around the green short game. But lag putting and three putt avoidance is what I'm going to be looking at. If it's going to go deep, between 15 to 20 under, you need guys that are going to score that can roll the putts in. That doesn't mean to say that the weather forecast might not change and it's something more of the 7 under, like with Xander. So for now, I'm going to play it as if they have good conditions, and we'll reevaluate that later in the week. So I was pretty shocked when I opened the app up this morning and saw some of these numbers. I thought it was kind of crazy to have such low numbers. If you look at it, and this is again betting with the each way. I don't bet directly outright. I always bet with the each way. Again, if you bet completely outright last week on the three of our guys, Dunlap, Clanton, Cole, you didn't make any money. But with the each way, you at least made some money. So, that's why I bet each ways all the time. So, looking at these guys, I think a big boy is going to win. I think that these guys are going to be in contention. They're the top players for the reason, but you know paying 12-1 for Colin, or even 7-8 in single digits for Rory and Xander for an each way, like that's no bueno. Not going there. I generally like to stay unless I am really really heavy on a guy that I feel extremely comfortable with. I'm generally in the 25 and above. So if we're looking at a 25 and above for a top five or a top eight range, which I generally like to do the top eight. The first click here that I would say would be Min Woo. But I don't necessarily love it. Um, I think he's got the distance to hang. I think he's got the upside to hang, but I don't love it. So I would say I'm probably going to pass on it for now and see if he slips back a little bit, because I don't really see other people going to Minwoo at 28-1 either. So we might be able to get it at a better number later in the week. Looking at these guys down here, I don't really see it. I don't love these numbers. You're talking looking at Aaron Rye, who last week in the last couple weeks has been up there in contention. He's won at this course before, but that's not against the big boys. He didn't get it done the last couple weeks. And do we think it's going to continue now that he's got a stronger field? So I don't think that either. Um, the names that I'm kind of looking at here, that would be my first click to look at, is honestly would be Wyndham Clark. I know he's not been playing all that great, but if you look at his success here, he's had at least a top 25 finish every time he's played at the Scottish Open. And so, you look at a guy, like I said before, who has the distance, can hit his long irons, can putt, three putt avoidance. He's really high end. So I like that Wyndham Clark number at 45, or even 50 for a top five. I would still go with the eight before it. It's just five spots, so I would go with the eight. Just full transparency, I haven't placed any bets yet. I want to see how the board shakes out. I want to dive a little bit deeper into players' recent form, dive into the numbers a little bit more before that. Again, all my tools and everything that I use are from Ship It Nation. And like I said, it's a great site. I will link their site in the description. And I believe they're running a promo right now too for a free week. So if you look at that, you can get a free week, and then if you choose to upgrade to a subscription after that, you're all good to go. So check them out for sure. After that, just based on a course history, someone who has not been playing well, but just on course history alone, is Max Homa. He also has had a top 20 or better here the last two times that he's played it. Max isn't super long, but he's long enough. He's good with his long irons, and then when his putter gets hot, his putter gets hot. So I'm gonna look at Max. I don't think a lot of people will go there, so I think that number will drift back as well. So like if Max goes to like maybe a 60, 65, I'll look at that again with an 8. Like Max Homa in this field could, if his putter gets hot and he's driving the ball well, he could definitely get a top 8 here. So I'm gonna look at that as well. And then just going down the board, I don't really see a lot um, of guys here that I like. Zalatoris is hurt, so I don't love going there. Wiesberger is a former champion. Um, Jordan Smith, I'll play him next week at the Open. I play that guy every year at the Open, and he seems to come through for me. Um, just looking at these guys, I don't see a ton. I will say I got an early number, Pat Mayo from Pat Mayo Experience. Check his stuff out too. He's great. He does a lot of early stuff. He bet Sammy Valimaki at 225 to 1, and he's already down to looks like 125. So he bet it at the let's see, he brought it at the top 10 each way. So as long as he comes inside the top 10, you split that 250 by five. But it looks like he's already down to below that. So his numbers already moved. So it looks like a lot of people got into that. But I put a little bit on Sammy Valimaki at a 225 to 1 with 10 places. But other than that, like I said, I'm going to go back, look through, do a little bit more research on recent play, look at those numbers for total driving, with more emphasis on driving distance and driving accuracy, a little bit of long iron play, and then three putt avoidance and just overall putting between 5 to 15 feet. So that'll do it for this episode. My apologies for not getting the DFS portion out last week. I got busy and it was about 9:30 at night before I was ready to do anything, and by then I really didn't have time to get one out. I'll definitely get one out this week, and then next week's the Open. So I'll have a bunch of comments and thoughts out for the Open, and then I might have if I can get it logistically to work, I might have a guest, my first guest, on the podcast to go through the DraftKings with me. So stay tuned. As always, share this. Helps me out a lot. And check out again the Ship It Nation YouTube, Pat Mayo Experience YouTube. Those guys do a lot of amazing content. I watch a lot of their stuff, and they do an amazing job breaking everything down. That'll be it for me. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.